Tunu was once an admirable woman. Her hands wove fabrics so beautiful that people came from distant villages to buy them. Her husband, Jedi, had promised to help her grow her talent far beyond their village. Their life was sweet until the day Tunu became pregnant. From the start, the pregnancy was difficult. Tunu became seriously ill. Her husband spent all their savings on care, on healers, on remedies. But he stayed by her side, and his presence was enough to reassure her. On the day of the birth, something terrible happened. The midwife asked Jedi to go into the forest to find he leaves, the only thing capable of saving both mother and child. He ran, found the leaves, and hurried back. But on the return path, a venomous snake bit him. He fought against the pain, walked step by step, and managed to hand the leaves to the midwife. Then he collapsed. He breathed his last breath at the very moment his daughter cried out for the first time. When Tunu held her little girl in her arms for the first time, she wanted to truly love her. But all she felt was a cold anger. Her husband was dead, and in her grief, she blamed this child, this little creature for whom he had walked toward death. "I would have given you everything for him," she whispered, her eyes dry and her heart closed. The child was named Dara. And from her very first steps, she learned that love did not exist for her. Every noise she made, every look she gave her mother, every mistake, even the smallest one, was met with harsh words and icy glares. "You're good for nothing. You bring only suffering." Dara grew up walking softly, as if silence could protect her. She learned to eat quickly, to smile without making a sound, to never draw attention to herself. Yet, something lived inside her. Her small hands moved naturally over threads and needles. Even at 8 years old, she would take scraps of fabric and transform them into something beautiful. When her mother was away, she would take out her old sewing box and sew in silence in a corner of the house. It was the only moment she felt at peace. But Tunu had abandoned everything. Her weaving talent, her dreams of expansion, all of it had died with her husband. She spent her days staring at empty shelves, bitter and alone. And when she caught Dara sewing, something inside her broke in the wrong way. She ripped the fabric from her daughter's hands, tore it violently, and threw it to the ground. "You think you're going to do what I used to do? You want to steal my life, my hands, my dream?" Dara learned to hide. She buried fabric scraps under the floorboards, concealed her needles behind old pots, and sewed at dawn under the mango tree in the garden. Every piece she created risked being destroyed, and often it was burned, cut up, torn apart. Dara swallowed her tears and started over. Then came the announcement that changed everything. The king was organizing a great competition. He was searching for the most beautiful garment in the kingdom to offer the princess on her 20th birthday. The reward was land, money, and a place among the finest artisans in the kingdom. The whole village buzzed with excitement. Dara listened from her corner, hands folded on her knees, her heart beating hard. She knew what she risked, but the fire inside her refused to go out. She worked in secret at night for weeks. Under the old mango tree, far from her mother's eyes, she created a dress like none she had ever made before. Every stitch was perfect. Every pattern was a part of herself. The night before the competition, she looked at it in the dim light and allowed herself a tiny smile. On the morning of the competition, she rose before dawn. She moved quietly toward the door, but her mother's voice froze her in place. "What is that?" Tunu's eyes burned with a cold rage. She snatched the bag, pulled out the dress, and picked up the scissors slowly. The metal gleamed in the morning light. Dara reached out her hands. "Mother, please." Snip. A clean cut, straight down the middle of the dress. Then another, and another. Each cut was slow, deliberate, as if her mother wanted Dara to feel every tear. She cut the sleeves. She cut the bodice. She reduced the hem to shreds too small to be sewn back together. Then she lit a fire and threw the pieces into it. Dara watched months of her work go up in smoke. She fell to her knees. "That was my dream," she cried. Her mother did not turn around. "Your dream ends here. Nothing that comes from you will ever matter." Then she left for the market, leaving Dara alone in front of the ashes. Dara stayed still for a long time. Then she stood up, wiped her eyes, and began to run. She had planned for this. She knew her mother. So she had sewn a second dress in secret, hidden in the forest, in a clearing that no one knew about. She ran across roots and stones, out of breath, her legs aching. When she reached the clearing, the dress was there, folded carefully, exactly as she had left it. The bright colors, the flawless stitches, every detail intact. She clutched it to her chest and ran back toward the palace. When she arrived in the courtyard, the drums were already beating. She placed her dress on the exhibition table, trembling, and when she unfolded it, a silence fell over the crowd. The queen and the princess approached, their eyes wide. "Who made this?" asked the queen, astonished. The princess touched the fabric with her fingertips. "May I try it on?" The dress slipped over her shoulders as if it had been made for her. The crowd held its breath. The colors seemed to live in the sunlight. The princess turned around, laughing softly. "It feels like a dream." The king stood up. "Step forward, young woman. You have won this competition. Your work is without equal." But as the celebration began, some villagers approached the king and told him what had happened that morning, how Tunu had burned the first dress, how she had done everything to stop her daughter from participating. The king summoned Tunu. She appeared before him, her face closed. He looked at her for a long time before speaking. "You destroyed your child's work. You tried to smother her gift. You punished an innocent child for a death she did not cause. A child does not choose to be born. A child does not choose misfortune. You lost your husband to fate. But instead of carrying your grief, you turned your pain into hatred. That is not strength. That is cruelty." The crowd listened in silence. "For your actions, you will be judged according to the laws of this kingdom. Let this serve as a lesson to all. No parent has the right to destroy their child's future." Dara received her reward, and for the first time in her life, she was free. She built a workshop where she taught young girls to weave and sew. Students came from distant villages. Her creations traveled far beyond her region. Every day, as she walked among the threads and fabrics, she remembered the burned dress, the silence in which she had grown up, and that fragile fire she had refused to let die. She understood that day what she never forgot afterward. A true gift cannot be destroyed by hatred. With patience and courage, it always finds a way to rise.